I've recently developed a bit of an obsession, some might say, and I figured that today is finally the day where we should go through all of my journals. I've been journaling on and off since I was a teenager. However, I really started picking it up as a daily practice when I was working full-time last year in ed tech. And my first acquisition was this journal right here. This is from Scriptum in Oxford. This is one of their beautiful leather covers and A5 notebooks. And this was my starter. This is what I used to write down all of my thoughts. I used it as my journal. I also used it as a place where I would take notes during my meetings. I would do my weekly resets in here. I would also write out different kind of programs that I wanted to start, content I wanted to produce. This was my catch-all diary for absolutely everything. I even have my Vlogmas 2024 plan, and this journal is really special to me because it's really the place where I got started with the practice of journaling and where I became familiar with the kind of daily routine of engaging with my inner world and keeping what I call my archive. Now, I'm a historian by trade. I'm currently getting my PhD in history and African American studies at Yale. And I think a lot about the act of archival collection and how it is that we want to be remembered, either for our own purposes or for future generations. And when I got into the practice of journaling, I really wanted to curate all of my memories in this one space and have it as a physical analog archive rather than just a digital one. I use applications like Notion and Notes, and I have this YouTube channel where I document my experiences, but I also wanted a space where I was specifically capturing memories and my thoughts for me. Now, I'm sharing, the general kind of gist of what these journals cover, but I've never actually shared, what these entries say or what the notes actually are. And these entries are really for me. It's a way for me to engage with my thoughts. It's my way to engage with my imagination. This is also what brought me into the world of journaling on social media. I watched a bunch of these journal ecosystem videos in order to see how people were using their journals. If you're in the beginning of your journaling journey, then I recommend just getting one special journal and using that for everything, using it as a Commonplace book, a place where you keep your notes, a place where you keep diagrams, a place where you keep your journal entries, because I don't think I would have been as active a journaler or really would have taken advantage of it had I not started here. So this is my tried and true journal, and I still use it for notes relating to business. In addition to getting my PhD, I also co-own Accepted Society, which is a community for lifelong learners, and I'm also working on starting a new business, so this is the place where all of my ideas relating to that go. Next, we have my pocket journal. This is the A6 portfolio from Paper Republic. This was very kindly gifted by them when I went to go visit their store in Vienna, and this is my carry-all on-the-go notebook. I have a beautiful little Tudor charm here that I got on Etsy, and this red wine ribbon, and this is in the chestnut color. When we go inside, I have a couple of very special little things, including a bunch of stickers from Sterling Ink and a card from a friend and my fountain pen. Now, I know that many people that get into journaling really love fountain pens. I personally haven't found that I really love or tend to reach for them, but I do have the Kakuno ultrafine tip from Pilot, and this just lives in this particular notebook. The challenge that I have with fountain pens is I always get the ink on my fingers, and I often find that I don't feel like I have as much control as I do with my favorite Pilot G2 0.38mm pen. So that's my side pocket. Over here, I have a clear organizer with a picture, which has me and my best friend Kate, as well as a sticker from Sterling Ink. And then back here, I have a passport or pocket-sized notebook from Sterling Ink, which has the grid paper. And this is what I just use to take down notes while I'm out and about. I haven't used it much because this is the notebook that I take out with me, and I often am just using this for journaling and for writing in my diary. The back of the clear organizer has more stickers. All of these came from Etsy. And then we have my Paper Republic insert. and this is my diary. One thing you'll notice about almost all of my notebooks is that almost every journal has a diary insert, and that is because depending on where I'm going and what I'm doing, I like having a diary where I can enter things, so I don't just enter it in one place. This one is also quite special because I added a little vision board. I just took some pictures from like Pinterest and some stickers and just added some pictures that felt like they resonated with me. And I have a little quote here that says, "No great mind has ever existed without a touch of madness." And then I have my diary entries here. Sometimes I do things like adding stickers, and that's something I've incorporated more so into my practice recently, but I just think it makes it a little bit more special and beautiful as you flip through. And lastly, at the back of my A6 portfolio is my content journal. This is where I add all of my ideas for YouTube, Instagram, Substack, and it just has all of my ideas packed into here. I used to keep it all on Notion, and I still have a digital system for planning out my content, but it's really nice to have a physical manifestation, and I just think it's really beautiful. And again, it's just something that you can't delete. It's something that's analog, it's something that's physical, and it's the manifestation of my imagination. So this is my travel notebook from Paper Republic, and now I'm going to share my planner notebook from Paper Republic. This is the new Le Trifold from Paper Republic. I bought this with my own money, and we also have a collaboration with them through Accepted Society. So this is the Accepted Society logo here. They have the embossing in store, so any of our members can actually email their team and have the embossing added to any of the Paper Republic products that they purchase. This is in the beautiful botany green color, and I've had it for, I believe, over a month, and it's already starting to patina, which is that kind of shine, as well as getting some little scuff marks. I left it in my bag, and you can see that it's kind of bending around the notebooks here, and it's got some scuffs. And I just love when leather notebooks show their experience, they show their age. They start to bend around the things that are within them, and they start to get little marks from being in your bag. And I just think that it shows that it's been lived in. As we open up, you'll notice that this sleeve over here is jam-packed full with stickers. So let me just go ahead and do a quick little sticker tour. So I get most of my stickers from Etsy, and my favorite ones are from the store Sterling Ink. This is not sponsored, I pay for this with my own money, but I do the monthly subscription of stickers from Sterling Ink. I just think that her artwork is so beautiful, and right now in this age of AI, I think it's just so important to support artists and to pay them well. One of my friends, Shay, posted this on Substack, and it really resonated with me, especially when I think about my practice as a journaler, somebody who writes things down in an analog fashion, because a lot of what we engage with, you know, artwork, stickers, beautiful leather goods, stationery, they're created by independent artisans or independent artists that are, you know, trying to share their love for art with us and are also trying to make a living doing so. And so they are pricey. You know, her stickers are a bit more expensive than some you're gonna find at like Walmart or at Michael's, but look at the beautiful artistry of these stickers. This is handmade. This is something that she drew, and I think that we should be supporting artists and paying them what they're worth. So these are my stickers. I'll list all of the retailers that I purchased them from. They're all from Etsy or from Sterling Ink. And now for the rest of the journal. I have 2 notebooks from Sterling Ink. This is a B6 size notebook, and it's in this beautiful tan leather. And inside, I keep my notes. So I have notes from my weekly resets. I have notes relating to courses that I'm running or programs that I'm developing. I have notes relating to my creative writing project in here. I've got some filming notes, and it's just kind of a catch-all notebook that I keep in here because this is my kind of standard go-to notebook that I use every day. And back here is my common planner. So Sterling Ink makes a series of really beautiful planners, and this is the half-year common planner where it has the monthly layout the weekly layout, and then a bunch of note pages here in the back. And I really do love the Sterling Ink paper and the actual quality of their products. I don't love the layout of the Common Planner though. I don't love that I have to kind of flip back and forth. I would rather it be kind of in sequence, but because this is undated, it makes sense that it's not. However, for next year, I did purchase another planner from Sterling Ink, and I ended up buying the daily planner because I just like having a little bit more space than the weekly layout, and I wanted the dates to line up so that way I could fill them in as I go. I use the back note pages primarily for to-do lists and my weekly or monthly reset. So here's my monthly reset. I do kind of an overview of the previous month's goals. I do a reflection. I also write down things like, I also write down little things like my favorites, core memories, things of that nature. And this is just like such a beautiful physical manifestation of my memories. For example, I have my weekly reset from before the Accepted Symposium and after, and I wrote down things like my favorites, like at the time I was using the Diptyque La Papier perfume. I was reading Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. Here I have some memories written down, like reading Catabasis while remaining inside, Accepted hitting 737 members. All of these things are just really special, and they just kind of capture a moment in time, and I just love it. So that is my planner notebook, my Le Trifold from Paper Republic. And next up we have my dissertation diary. Now, I've talked a little bit about this in my dissertation diaries vlogs, but this is the portfolio from Paper Republic in Cognac. I have a little charm here from Louise Carmen and another charm from July Rose. This one says Accepted Society in Pursuit of Knowledge, and it also has the Accepted Society embossing. This was also very kindly gifted by the Paper Republic team when I was visiting in Vienna, and it has been my go-to research journal. As we open it up here, you'll see I have a pen in this little pen insert. It's super handy. And then in the sleeve, I don't have much, but I just have some little mementos. I have a picture of me and Kate, some little inserts from Sterling Ink, and on the back I have a card from Oxford, as well as a diary insert from Louise Carmen. So as I said, many of my notebooks have these diary inserts, just depending on where I am at a given time. I like to capture my thoughts, and regardless of which notebook I have with me, I want to be able to remember what I was thinking and feeling at the time. As you flip to the back of the organizer, I don't have much in here. It's just some things from Sterling Ink. And then we get to the crux of the dissertation diary, which is the dissertation diary itself. So I had started with the thought that I was going to write into all of the different chapters in these individual slim Midori A5 notebooks. And I did start, as you can see here, but I found that I just wanted them to all be in one place. So I've recently kind of abandoned that process and have started just writing my notes related to the dissertation in my dedicated dissertation diary. And my thinking is that if I run out of room, I'll just start a second one. And I started this because I wanted to think intentionally about my dissertation and the research process. And I began this in the summer. I started it in June. I can see because I had my dissertation summer plan. What I wanted out of this was to think out loud in a physical way that I have memory of. This is an archive of my own research. It has daily intentions. It has, writing trackers. I also have different terms and literature. I have my reactions to the primary sources, my kind of organizing my thoughts with a lot of diagrams and mind maps, as you can see throughout here. And this is just my way of thinking thoughtfully and intentionally through my dissertation and having a physical archive of my own where I am capturing all of the ideas as they are coming, all of the frustrations as they occur, And I just think this is absolutely wonderful. I have also seen so many people start their own dissertation diaries because I started sharing this. So if you are one of them, please let me know down below how you're using it and also where you're taking your notes, like what kind of notebooks you're using. This is a Midori Standard A5 in the grid outline, and I just love it so much. I just have, you know, things like, you know, what's my big question? What am I trying to get at? And it's just kind of an internal dialogue manifested in a physical space. So that's my dissertation diary. I also add lots of stickers and things in order to customize it. And I want to quickly pause and talk a little bit about stickers because it's one of the things that has really enriched my experience in journaling. And I spent quite a lot of money on stickers from places like Sterling Ink, but for those of you that can't afford to purchase stickers such as that, I also want to recommend doing things like picking up sticker books. This one is from Peter Popper Press. You can find them at your local stationery shop, but you can also buy them on things like Amazon. And this is only like $10 or $11 US, and it has hundreds of stickers. This is what I actually started with when I began journaling in my Scriptum notebook, and it's just the perfect starter for beginning to just make your notes a little bit more fun. And you should be able to do that without breaking the bank. You can also do things like getting stamps or drawing little diagrams. So that's one recommendation that I have. And another recommendation I'm going to share with you alongside my memory book. So this is my notebook from Polisky. Now I want to quickly shout out Polisky because this is a company owned by a single woman. And when I shouted out this notebook on TikTok, it went crazy, and she got so many orders. She sold out twice. She's had to close her shop a couple of times, and I want us to support small independent artisans as much as we can, and she's one of them. So this is my trifold notebook in Bordeaux. I've got a beautiful wine colored ribbon, and then I have a charm from July Rose, which says Archive of My Own. This is the name of my Substack, and it's kind of a play on Archive of Our Own, which is also known as AO3 in the fan fiction community. And when I was thinking about naming my Substack and I was thinking about what I wanted my memory book to represent, I was thinking a lot of the concept of an archive. And oftentimes as a historian, archives are made up of written material and documents rather than, you know, physical trinkets and artifacts. And so I wanted a space where I could capture those memories, those thoughts, and have it manifest in a document. And so that's why I wanted to have this particular notebook. In addition to that, Polisky also has this really beautiful embossing font. This one says Kindred Spirit. And as you open it up, I also have another embossing here that says Make Believe. And this notebook's really special to me because it just captures all of the lovely things, all of the memories, and lots of little sentimental bits. So I have my Yale-Harvard ticket from the Yale-Harvard game, my second year of my PhD. I have a picture of my friend Chloe. I have a little ticket from the Musée d'Orsay when I went with Chloe a couple years ago. I have a quote from Shadow of Night, which is one of my favorite books by Deborah Harkness. I have a card from the first time my partner bought me flowers when we were long distance, and I have a little Kiki's Delivery Service sticker from when I was in Hong Kong. And it's just some little bits and pieces of things that I love. And on the back, I also have a little bookmark from Oxford. I have a card from my friend's wedding. I have another note card from when my partner and I went to Vienna and saw the Spanish riding school. And it's just a catch-all place of, you know, little trinkets and little memories. I also have a diary. This one's also from Louise Carmen. And as you'll see, this one doesn't have as many stickers or things. And this is because this is one of the first ones I started using over the summer. And it's just a really beautiful way to capture my thoughts. And sometimes I use prompts from things like Pinterest, but sometimes I just need to get my thoughts down, and I don't need any prompting for that. Back here, I have the back of the sleeve, which has a picture of me and my siblings, as well as a card from the Met with one of my favorite paintings from Renoir. Next, I have a moleskin notebook, which I use as my Commonplace notebook. And this is where I dump things like quotes and notes and recipes and little bits of inspiration. If you flip through here, I have notes from a Substack article that I read called The Frugal Chic, and I also have one on how Milk-Fed created a simplistic approach to Notion. I have a little recipe from one of my favorite Substack creators called Sweet Comforts, and then I have notes from when I went to the Creator Leaders Retreat. It's just a catch-all of a lot of beautiful ideas, imaginations. I also have different diagrams and things from trainings that I've been on, and it's just kind of a catch-all. And I really love being able to go through here, especially because there's like stickers and other things to make it a bit more fun. And lastly, the thing I wanted to share the most in today's video is my memory book. So this is kind of similar to junk journaling, except it's just a tad bit more organized. And as we flip through here, you can see I have an invitation to my friend Becca's wedding. I talked about, going riding back in June. I have a trip that I took to Oxford. This was from my trip to Vienna with my partner. And I have little things like when I hit 125,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's just so special. And I just love having all of these pictures and memories just manifested in this little physical journal. I also love that I have cards and things from friends. I have a little wax seal from the Accepted Symposium, and it's just a really nice way to remember and to revisit. And even though all of these photos were taken on my phone or with a camera, printing them out and having them here just makes it all the more special. And in order to do so, I use a Canon printer. I'll go ahead and link everything down below, but that's how I print out those custom photos and stick them into my journal. So that is my journaling ecosystem as a historian, and I'm gonna have everything linked below, including a discount code to Paper Republic. They did not sponsor this video. However, they are a partner with Accepted Society. They were also so kind as to gift me two of the notebooks I showed with you here today. And if you would like to check out some of their bundles, I have a discount code as well as a link. I don't get any kickback. This is not an affiliate link. I am just sharing it so that way you can enjoy Paper Republic as well, and also as a thank you to their team. So thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have any questions or if I miss anything in the description that you would like links to, please let me know in a comment, and I will see you all very soon. Bye, friends.